All right, welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick for this week's Breakout Watchlist from August 30th to September 3rd. In this video, we'll be covering 20 stocks that have breakout potential in the upcoming week. They all meet my fundamental and technical requirements. They're going to be above their 200-day and their 50-day simple moving average. They're going to be 50% above their 52-week low. Most of them are 100% above, but requirement 50%. Last week, we had a 90% win rate. 18 out of 20 stocks were positive, with the big winners being SPT up 18%, MIME 16%, SKIN 14%, and ISEE up 12%. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Make sure you vote on your favorite setup on my Twitter account. We'll get to that in a second, but it's Stock Trick Nick there. And if you're coming here for a specific setup, timestamps will be in the comment section below, so you can go and find exactly what you need and save some time. All right, quick disclaimer. Anything that we talk about is not financial or stock advice. This is all for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before trading. Trading comes with financial risk. Here's the stock lineup for the day. We got 20 stocks. Not going to spend too much time here, but do want to point out the 4 stars represent the 4 stocks that you guys can pick from on my Twitter account, Stock Trick Nick, again there, DOCS, LC, PLTR, and ZI. Let's get into some charts. First, we'll start with AMD, and we'll be breaking down the fundamentals first, and then go to the technical setup and the buy points after. So with AMD, earnings per share rating 99, group strength, it's ranked 7th out of 197, that's an A+, accumulation distribution B+, composite, which means overall rating 99, very strong. If we look down here, we see earnings per share up 250% since last year in June, sales up 99%, after-tax margin up 20, and you can go through here, earnings per share for the year, quarter to quarter, 128, 63, 189, 250, sales 56, 53, 93, 99. You get that acceleration of sales growth. And then with profits, plus 18%, plus 19, plus 18.6, plus 20.2, very strong. Within that strong group, remember it's 7th out of 197, it is the strongest rated stock. Looking at an ownership perspective, funds did drop in the June report, but still holding strong. So now we go to the technical side of it, AMD. We have the E-Trade setup for this. This got out very heavy, 45% on very large volume after earnings. It kind of didn't explode right off the bat on earnings. It checked back and then got going. So it did give you a buy point on earnings day. Unfortunately, I didn't take that. And once I missed that buy point, I was very patient for it to come back, kind of move over this first pivot. And in the trading environment that we're in right now, usually those first pullback pivots have been failing. So I waited for that. It pulled back, undercut the low in the pullback, and then shaped up. And I actually bought this on Monday last week when it broke over the high from the previous Thursday. Since then, it did get out on Friday, but now we have another pivot to work with. It is a little extended here, but what I would like to see is a couple days where we check back to the 20-day simple moving average, this green line here, and then get going. If it breaks immediately from the high from Friday, 111.78, I'm not going to be adding more position to it. But that could be a buy point too. I would just like it to check back again and give you guys a better low risk entry point there. That's AMD. We have AXON. AXON, you could see earnings per share rating 88, group strength only a B-, it's 96 out of 197, so not the strongest, but within that group, it's the strongest rated stock. So if we get the strongest stock in the strongest group, that's a double win. But if we're kind of middle of the road in group strength, we definitely want to be in the top of the group individually for this stock. Accumulation distribution B+, more buyers than sellers. Composite rating 94 here, and relative strength 92. Going down, the last earnings per share, we went from -1 to 0.38, so more than 1,000% growth there. Sales up 55% since last year, and after-tax margin 12.5%. So very strong there. Let's check fund ownership. Similar to AMD, it did decrease in June. Otherwise, it has been in a strong uptrend before that. And here, let's zoom out. We have this giant cup and a handle put in. So you see the cup, you see the handle. Just another reason for kind of the short-term traders to get out, shake out the weaker hands. We've bounced, and now we've set this nice pivot. It couldn't get over this on Friday, so we're going to be using Friday's high 189.50 as a possible buy point there. Good volume on Wednesday. Seemed to just trade sideways, holding that 8-day exponential moving average, the purple line there, and then another sideways day Friday after failing to move over that pivot. Let's see, 189.59, 189.50. So maybe the high from August 23rd, 189.59 would be a better buy point there. AXON. Now we have BNTX. This one we might be a little bit early on. If this trades sideways for another week, I wouldn't complain, especially with how large of a breakout we had before this. But group strength, 99 out of 197. That's a C+. Not the strongest group there, but it is the third rated stock out of 741 in that biotech. So strong stock in a somewhat weaker group. Accumulation distribution, A rating, composite rating 96. Relative strength rating 99, and you can see earnings has been on a tear, plus 748, plus 999, plus 999. Sales, that plus 99 the last 3 quarters as well, and profit margin plus 106, plus 55, plus 52. So obviously very strong. Fund ownership exploding higher, 116, 168, 251, 278, 349. So let's do some measuring. This got out really strong, up 135% since the low here. Since that point, we did pull down 31%. So typically in that situation, we want to give the stock at least 6 weeks to trade sideways to tighten up. Right now, it's only on week 3, but this is a very volatile name. So like I said earlier, if we can give the stock another week to just trade sideways, that would improve the probability of the trade working out. But with that strong of fundamentals, with that strong of a move higher, I want to put it at least on a watch list so I'm aware of what the stock is doing. A low risk entry could be just buying off the break over Friday's high, 370.32. You're having a lower probability that trade's going to actually break out and hold if you're buying that low, but then you can keep your stop under the previous day's low and keep it a 5.5% risk. Otherwise, you have 2 daily highs, 377 and 377.60 and 376.54, right around the same price. That's where I would look to enter the stock. If we can curl higher, kind of in the second half of the week, that would be my ideal entry point with BNTX. Next we have DLO. IPO has been extremely hot. Earnings per share only a 65 rating. Group strength B+, it's 55 out of 197. Within that group, it is the strongest rated stock, 1 out of 32. Accumulation distribution A-. Composite rating 98. So all good things there. Fund ownership, we only have 1 quarter of data. We're at 130. If we're taking a look at earnings per share growth, we have 50%, 300, 500, and 100. Very strong earnings per share growth. Sales, plus 96, plus 94, plus 124, plus 186. So you get that acceleration of sales. And then profit, after-tax profit margins, plus 28, plus 33, plus 42, plus 30. Very, very strong there. And then we have the entry point. So with this one, it's already pretty extended. We're kind of trading up against the 8-day exponential moving average right here. But similar to these really powerful stocks, Upstart, the next one that we'll talk about, DOCS, we'll get to. A lot of these really powerful stocks, it doesn't give you much time along that 8-day exponential before it starts popping again. So similar to BNTX, if we trade sideways for another week, that would be awesome. But we want to put this on our radar. With this, I would be looking for just a break into all-time highs here. That would be a break over 70.18 as a possible buy point. If we trade sideways for the first half of the week, then we can refine our entry point. But for now, we have lower volume coming back into the 8-day, good volume on Friday, moving out with higher highs, higher lows, doing all the right things. This is a name that I do want to own for sure. I just got to find the right entry point. Right? So if we break into all-time highs, I'll take a position, but that stop's going to be kind of an arbitrary 5%, 6%, because the range hasn't tightened enough. We might want to zoom into the 10-day and use like a 30-minute chart to look for some tight areas. to keep our risk as small as possible. Maybe the break over the high would be an entry point, stop under the low of the day. That's 3.7%. Or in the second half of the day, excuse me. We'll see how that goes, but definitely a name that I want to keep on the radar. That's DLO. Next we have DOCS. This is one that was on the breakout watch list last week, has done extremely well. Earnings per share, only a 65. Group strength, only a C, 113 out of 197. But within that group, it is the first rated stock out of 31. Accumulation distribution, A. Composite rating, 95. Relative strength rating, 97. We're always looking for those strong stocks, right? If we're looking at earnings per share, we're plus 200, plus 233, plus 200, plus 700. Very, very strong there. Sales, 77, 81, 83, 100. Profits, 22, 29, 32, plus 42. Acceleration of sales, acceleration of profit, and very strong earnings per share growth. Let's see, I think we only have 1 month. Yeah, we only have 1 month of institutional ownership, but 204 funds already in that. Entry point we're looking for. This is one where it pulled back to the 8-day exponential, similar to DLO, like we talked about, and then we gapped up and then just ran 11% that day from the gap up on Monday. So with very high powerful stocks, we want to be watching that 8-day exponential moving average as like the key support, especially on these IPOs. They're quicker moving names. With this one, we had that really strong move in the first half of the week. Thursday, we sold off on heavy volume, which looked concerning. On Friday, we sold off even more, but we closed this gap that we opened up on Monday, and then we shot higher. So buyers stepped in immediately after that gap was closed and closed it near the high of the day and above the 8-day exponential moving average. Really strong move on Friday. With this, I'll be looking for a break over Friday's high, 83.95 as a possible buy point. Unfortunately, you would probably have to use an arbitrary 5% stop to keep your risk minimal there. That's DOCS. So this one, B plus group strength rating, 51 out of 197. Within that group, it's only 10 out of 28. So this isn't a super strong group, not the strongest stock in the group. So that's definitely a ding on the setup. Accumulation distribution, I'm having a hard time believing this is D plus just because of the very large volume bars on up days, small volume bars on down days. Not sure if that's calculated correctly for this IPO. We'll see. Composite rating 89 and relative strength 83. Fund ownership, we only have 1 month or 1 quarter at 115. Earnings per share plus 67, plus 100, plus 225, plus 175. Very strong there. Sales actually minus 15 in September's quarter, but then plus 24%, plus 78, and plus 67%. We have positive after-tax margin growth, 21%, 16%, 16%, and 19%. Now we go back to find an entry point with FA. This one got out heavy on earnings, plus 36%. Since then, we had set this pivot. When we checked back, we broke over, and then we pulled back again. So similar with AMD, that first pullback, a break over the kind of higher high in that move. Did not want to take that trade. It was too early, and thankfully I didn't because we checked even lower. We undercut the low here, shaking out the weaker hands in the name. It's nice to see. And now, after that shakeout, we pushed higher, closed near the high of the day and above the 8-day exponential moving average. For this, I'm just looking for a break over Friday's high, 23.66 as a possible buy point, FA. Next, we have FND. This one, we have earnings per share rating, 99, group strength B+, it's 50 out of 197. Within that group, it is the first rated stock out of 21. It's got a accumulation distribution rating of a B, composite rating 99, and relative strength rating 87. Fund ownership, let's see, growing rapidly. Last year, 471, this year, 522. Earnings per share growth, we have plus 107, 81, 100, 462 the last quarter. Very strong last quarter. Sales, plus 31, 37, 41, 86. You get that acceleration of sales growth. And then profit margins, plus 8.7, plus 7, plus 9, plus 9. All right, let's jump to E-Trade. You had the strong move off the 200-day simple moving average, 38%. We've pulled back, bounced up, found some resistance at that 20-day simple moving average, and then moved slightly lower on Thursday. basically recaptured the move on Friday with good volume. So look at the volume the last couple up days versus the down days on this bounce. Nice to see that. And we're right under that 20-day declining 20-day simple moving average. With this, I'll give it a little bit more time. If it trades sideways for another week, that's ideal. We're looking for a break over Wednesday's high of 120.50 as a possible buy point. This is one that I tried to take too early, didn't give it enough time to shake out and got stopped out for a loss, but just because I'm stopped out doesn't mean I'm not gonna keep an eye on it. Very strong group rating, A+, 11 out of 197. Within the group, it's only 19 out of 51, so top 40-ish percent, not the strongest, but we do have a very strong group to work with. Accumulation distribution rating, A, composite rating 89, and relative strength rating 99. Fund ownership continues to increase. We had 213 last June, now 270, a nice steady increase there. And honestly, fundamentals the last 3 quarters, not very strong, but in the most recent quarter, 115% earnings per share growth, 416% sales growth, and 4% after-tax margin growth. And you see the market react to that with a strong gap up and a fade higher. So let's measure this gap up on volume, 63%, then we just post-earnings drift higher, a 90% move when it was all said and done before sellers stepped in, pulled it back 15%. So let me zoom out. This, depending on if you count the move just from the breakout or if you count the base, this could be considered a high tide flag. I don't think Leif would consider it because of that previous move down to create the bull here, but very good volume moving up. Had that check back. I didn't get in there. I got in on this kind of 2-day pivot, trying to get in a very strong stock, bought on this day and then got shaken out on Thursday. Friday, it moved higher, closed above the 20-day simple moving average of support on Thursday, bounced right at the low, or opened at the low, moved higher, closed almost at the high of the day on Friday, and now we're showing great relative strength again. With this one, I'm just looking for a break into all-time highs. I think that would be 29.55, is that right? 29.57, the high from Tuesday would be my entry point on this one, LC. Next we have LEN. This one, we got group strength B-, earnings per share 94, good to see. Within the group, 7 out of 23, so in the top third there. Accumulation distribution C+, not great here. Composite rating 92, relative strength 82. Not completely the strongest stock, but earnings per share, you have 33, 32, 61, 61, good growth there. Sales, 0, -2, but then it picked it up, plus 18, plus 22. And profit margins increasing 11%, 13, 12, and 13%. Fund ownership has been continuing to increase, 1537 to 1933 on LEN. And if you guys are enjoying the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I make this breakout watch list every Sunday morning and do a live stream afternoon on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. So if you enjoy trading videos, please subscribe. LEN, nice cup here, put in a pullback, bounce back up after undercutting the 20-day simple moving average. And then we had 3 days where we just traded sideways. Similar to most of the charts, Thursday was a pullback day, Friday was a strong bounce day. And now you have kind of this diagonal to work with, so just a break over Friday would be buyable. Otherwise, if you're waiting for the nearest pivot, a break over 108.88, the high from Wednesday, would be your entry point on LEN. Next, we have LOB. This is a banking stock, so kind of surprised this made the list, but group strength B+, 76 out of 197. Within that group, it is the strongest stock out of 79. Accumulation distribution, C+, not the greatest. Composite rating, 95, and relative strength, 93. Fund ownership has been increasing from 229 to 328 in the most recent year. And really wanted to point out this last quarter, we had plus 999 earnings per share growth, plus 77% sales, and plus 40% after-tax margin growth. Great to see that. And LOB. So as you can see here, we did pull back. We had this very strong move in 2020 all the way to March. So even when all the growth stocks were pulling back in February, this was actually accelerating higher because this is a financial company. not as much of a growth. Since then, we did have a pullback and a nice base building period. Pulled back 25%, so nothing terrible there. We did have a couple breaks under this low, really shaking out the weaker hands in this move. And now we are starting to get out on good volume, very strong closing range on Friday, basically the high of the day. With this one, we'll probably give it another week or so. I don't know if I want to take it just with the break over here, but a break over 63.40 is going to be my ideal entry point. But ideally, we put in some sideways action. Maybe even next week, this is a better stock to get out over that area. But how we handle this sell zone, because every time the stock has gotten up to this price, people have sold it off, sold it off, sold it off. So until we get over that point, I don't want to be in this chop zone, if that makes sense. LOB. Next, we have MARA. Group strength A, this is 24 out of 197. Within the group, it's only halfway through, 56 out of 112. Accumulation distribution A, composite rating 76, not the strongest, but relative strength 99. This is really starting to pick up. And fund ownership has absolutely exploded. Only 8 funds back in September of 2019, now 167. So as fund ownership increases, the stock tends to increase as well. Earnings per share, no data available because it was both negative last year and this year at this time. But sales plus 999 the last 2 quarters, plus 843 the previous quarter, and 167 there. It's already broken over the ideal point that I was looking at on Friday. I had too much exposure that I was starting to build on, so I couldn't take every trade on Friday. This one got out on good volume after we had a pullback to the 20-day simple moving average. That held as support. We bounced up, pulled back to the 8-day, and that's when, once we go like 50-day, that holds support, 20-day, that holds support, now 8-day, that holds support. That's when buyers are stepping in. You could see buying volume picking up, very little selling volume as it pulls back. Great sign of accumulation there. This one, I don't want to buy it off the high here because it's 10% from the 8-day exponential, 18% from the 20. I do want to wait, give it some time to check back, kind of tighten up, and then with a break over Friday's high, let's see, what was that? 40.66, not right away. If we get some sideways action, that would be my buy point, 40.66 for MARA. Next, we have NET. Very strong group strength, A rating, 30 out of 197, accumulation distribution A minus, composite rating 86, relative strength 97, and within that group, we are 21 out of 108, so top 20%. Not any earnings per share to share, but sales increasing 54%, 50%, 51, 53, very strong there. And fund ownership rapidly increasing from 327 to 978 over the year. That's NET. Obviously, very strong move since May. So a lot of growth stocks have had trouble, not NET, up 94% since May. We pulled back, undercut the 20-day simple moving average, which shakes out the weaker hands. Buyers stepped in. We pulled back on lighter volume the last couple days, and then Friday's action, higher highs, higher lows. We're back over the 8-day, back over the 20-day simple moving average. This one, similar to the others, if we have a week of trading sideways or even another pullback under Thursday's low, that would shake out weaker hands and even improve the probability of the trade once we do break out over their range. But if we don't get that, I'm looking at a break over August 24th's high of 125.75 as a possible buy point with NET. Next, we have NUE. This comes from that steel group, ranked 3rd out of 197, so that's an A+ group strength rating. Within that group, it is the strongest stock out of 15. Good to see. Strongest group, strongest stock. Accumulation distribution A-, composite rating 99, relative strength 97. Earnings per share plus 148, plus 213, plus 999. Sales the last 3 quarters plus 3, plus 25, plus 103. Profit margins the last 4 quarters have been increasing. All good things there. Fund ownership also increasing. 1332 last June to 1638 this June. Strong breakout after earnings, 44%. We had that first pullback. That pivot got going. We pulled back, undercut that. Did not undercut, but I mean, a check back to the ideal breakout point if you're buying that pullback. And then we had an inside candle on Friday. All the growth stocks were breaking out on Friday. The fact that this was up 1.5% is good, but if money is flowing to more growth and away from materials like steel, maybe we see the sector get a little bit softer, but for now, it's holding up great. Still above that 20-day simple moving average. If we could get some sideways action to allow that to catch up, that would be better. But I'm looking for a quick buy over Friday's high, 120.120 as a possible buy point there for NUE. Next, we have PLTR, Palantir. This is one, group strength A, 30 out of 197. Not going to be the strongest in the group, 42 out of 108, because you can see this has been building. Finally, the right side of the base here, we have a cup and handle being built out. Accumulation distribution, C, composite rating 66. Relative strength rating is picking up. It's an 89 now. That's good to see that it is growing. Fund ownership is also growing, 84, 156, 193, 468. Earnings per share the last 2 quarters up 500%, up 300%. Sales the last 4 quarters are also increasing, 52, 40, 49, 49. And then profit margins the last 2 quarters have increased 24% and 26%. This is one that I did take the trade earlier last week and then added to it on Friday as we moved over the high. This is one, a lot of volume coming in on these up days. So starting to get good accumulation now that we're building the right side of the base. I'm looking for a break over Friday's high, especially if we get a couple check back days, but I sound like a broken record there. I always want to be patient with the setup. That's why I'm saying that as much as I can. But a break over Friday's high, 26.09 would be my entry point. Next, we have Shopify, SHOP. You can see group strength, 30 out of 197. Within that group, it is the 3rd rated stock out of 108, so very strong there. Earnings per share rating, 99. Group strength, A, we just covered that. Accumulation distribution, B-. Overall composite rating, 98. Relative strength rating, 86. Not as strong there, but as you can see down below, fundamentally very, very strong. Earnings per share growth, 490, 267, 958, 113. Sales, 96, 94, 110, 57. And profit margins, 18%, 20%, 25%, and 25%. Fund ownership also increasing, June of 2020, 1403, now at 2007. Let's jump to the E-Trade platform and find an entry point. This is one that I got stopped out of earlier as well, but don't want to turn my back on what was a market leader. Very good volume on the way out here. Then we check back, good volume on that breakout. And now, similar to the AMD setup, we had that pullback, put in that pivot. I bought that, unfortunately, got stopped out there, shot below, and now we bounced and we're above both the 50, the 20, and the 8-day exponential moving average. And we're kind of tucked just above all of them. So a low risk entry point would be a break over Friday's high, 1538.99. And then you could keep your stop under all of those key moving averages, and it would still be a 2.5% risk on that. So that's Shopify. Lower risk, lower probability of a breakout from this point. But if you keep your stop under all those key moving averages, that helps increase the probability of the trade. We got 5 more for you. STEP. Earnings per share rating, 97. Group strength A with 24 out of 197. Within that group, it's the 5th rated stock out of 112. Very strong in the group. Accumulation distribution A, composite rating 98. Relative strength rating 94. Doing all the right things here. Fund ownership, we have 4 quarters to work with, and each quarter we see fund ownership increasing. 119, 175, 213, 250. Very strong earnings per share growth, 58, 47, 178, 156. Similar with sales and after-tax profit margins. Very, very strong breakout recently, 52% up. We had this malfunction day after kind of a 3-day pivot, gapped up there, shook everyone out. And what I like about this is there's these long lower wicks, once, twice, 3 times, and each time buyers are stepping in. It's shaking out the weaker hands, buyers are stepping in. Shaking out weaker hands, buyers are stepping in. And then on Friday, we had that nice turn. Friday would have been kind of the ideal buy point. You had 1, 2, 3 daily highs right at the same price. But we closed right at that price on Friday. So what I'm going to be using is if we open lower come Monday and then take out the open or the closing price from Friday, 47.27, that's going to be my entry point. Otherwise, I don't want to buy it off the high from Friday. It just hasn't had enough time to kind of trade sideways for me. I'm going to be a little bit cautious, but taking a look at volume on each of these days, good volume on the up days, low volume on the down days, doing all the right things, STEP. Next we have a fan favorite, Tesla, which has been kind of sleeping for 2021, but is starting to move up that right side of the base. So all the fundamentals are going to be strong, but the group strength, D+, it's kind of in the wrong group. It's more of a tech stock anyway. But within the group, it is the first rated stock out of 27. B+ accumulation distribution rating, 88 composite rating, and relative strength is now starting to pick up at 79. Let's see, fund ownership also rapidly increasing from 1649 to 2786. Earnings per share growth, 105, 95, 304, 230. Triple digit returns there. And then sales, 39%, 46, 74, 98, almost 100% sales increase from the year prior. And after-tax profit margin also positive each of the last 4 quarters. This is also one that I tried to get in on this kind of pennant here, or this bull flag here, broke out, got in, and then got shaken out on the following Monday when it gapped lower and pulled all the way under the 200-day simple moving average. But since then, we did pop up and have a similar looking flag. We got the 20-day, the 8-day, right at the same price. We have 4 days tight, right around the same price. And we're looking for a break over the high from that point, which would be 716.97 as a possible buy point. That's the high from August 25th. You could put your stop under the lows of that range and the 8 and the 20-day, and that would only be a 2.4% risk, so a lower risk entry point on Tesla. Got 3 more for you. WIRE, earnings per share, 98, B+ group strength, 64 out of 197. Within that group, it is the top rated stock, 1 out of 32. Accumulation distribution, A-, composite overall, 99. Relative strength rating, 87, so not the strongest there. We would like it to be in the 90s if possible. Fund ownership increasing from 388 to 435. And earnings per share this last quarter, plus 999. You love to see those triple nines on MarketSmith. Sales up 194 and after-tax margins up 24.6. This is a thinner traded name, so do position size carefully here. You don't want to put a very large position on a stock that is illiquid, because if it does start working against you, it could start working against you quickly, and you don't want to take that large of a risk. We had a pullback, bounced, pulled back again. Now it met the 20-day simple moving average. That held its support. Closed near the high of the day on Friday. We're just looking for a break over Wednesday's high. That would be 87.49 as a possible buy point for WIRE, Wire. The last 2, ZI. This is one that was on the breakout watch list last week. Group strength rating A, it's in 30 out of 197. Within that group, it's the 7th rated stock out of 108. Accumulation distribution B, composite rating 96, and relative strength rating 90. Fund ownership increasing from 191 to 344 this past year. And earnings per share plus 120, plus 140, plus 160, plus 100. That's 4 quarters in a row of triple digits growth for earnings per share. Sales up 56, 53, 50, and 57. That's 4 quarters above 50% sales growth. Incredible. And we have 4 quarters of after-tax profit margin increasing by 30% or more. So very incredible fundamentals by ZI. We had that nice earnings breakout. We had that pullback, and similar to AMD, we had that pullback under the first undercut of the first pullback's low, found support at the 20-day simple moving average. There was a buy point in here that you could have gotten in, but since then it traded sideways. We tried to break out on Thursday. That got pushed lower along with the market, and then we had an inside candle on Friday, setting up the trade nicely. Looking for a break over Thursday's high, 63.67 as a possible buy point for ZI. And finally, we have ZIM. This is one that has been on my radar for a while. Had a position in this, got stopped out of the last couple shares, unfortunately, on a checkback day, but group strength rating A, transportation, shipping, 23 out of 197. Within that group, it is the strongest stock out of 27 stocks. Accumulation distribution B+, composite rating 99, relative strength rating 99. And if you're looking for more 9s, We have four full quarters of earnings per share growth over 1,000%, which is incredible. Sales plus 20, plus 64, plus 112, plus 200. We have the sales acceleration. After-tax profit margin, 14%, 26%, 33%, 37%. We have profit margin acceleration. That's what Minervini looks for. So doing all the right things from a fundamental standpoint. Funds also increasing their ownership, 29 to 56. Because we had this breakout on Wednesday. Looked like it was just going parabolic here. A check back on Thursday, similar with DOCS's stock, like the strongest stocks in the market did have a strong pullback day on Thursday, but this didn't even break under the 8-day exponential moving average. It's that strong. Friday, we had an inside candle on lighter volume. So with this, I would just be looking for a break kind of over the cup's top here. We have the high 49.90, the high from Thursday 49.93. So a break over $50 would be my buy point on this one, ZIM. And that's going to be the breakout watch list of the week. Make sure you go on my Twitter account, StockTrickNick, and vote on your favorite setup out of DOCS, LC, PLTR, and ZI. Make sure you also get your 2 free stocks with Webull when you open an account with them and deposit $5. By opening an account, you get a stock between $3 and $300. And when you deposit just $5, you get another stock between $8 and $2,000. So a lot of free money on the table there. Always good to have multiple brokerages in case one of them go down during the day. I think I have 4 or 5 now, but use TD Ameritrade for most of my trading. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you tune in on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central, where we'll be doing a live stream from this channel, updating this watch list for the second half of the week and taking any charts that you want to see. So make sure you tune into that. Otherwise, have a great week, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday night.